Hollywood has a dangerous reputation for neglecting their stars, and in many cases putting them in life-threatening situations, and often leaving you questioning what on earth happened on set that could lead to such life-changing experiences, and sometimes death. Quick disclaimer, we are going to be talking about subjects like eating disorders, along with death and abuse. Hollywood has one goal, and that goal has been the same since day one: money. And they will stop at nothing to get it, which means often looking at actors, writers, performers, cast and crew as small pieces in a chess game that can easily be replaced. Today we are going to have a look and expose Hollywood's dangerous lack of care of actors and performers. Here's a quick message from today's sponsor, FlexiSpot. I spend a lot of time at my desk editing, scriptwriting and filming, so decided to upgrade my desk to FlexiSpot's E7 standing desk. With its strong and sturdy build and height adjustments, it's able to adapt perfectly into my space. Some of the features I love most about the E7 is just how easy it is to control. With a simple touchscreen, I can set my standing and sitting desk modes, and I have quite a few big items on my desk, but as the E7 has the weight capability of 355 pounds, easily holding the weight of 2 adults, a few monitors is nothing for this desk. Also, as someone who has terrible cable management skills, the E7 has its own cable management system, and with less cables around, it makes me feel more productive and focused. The E7 also comes with up to 15 years warranty and a 30-day risk-free return service, so you can't really go wrong. So click my link in the description and check out the E7 along with FlexiSpot's other products. I've had great experiences with their products and I'm so grateful to be partnering with them again. Use the code YTE730 for $30 off. Thank you so much, FlexiSpot, and now back to the video. Many inspiring actors will do almost anything that they're told, leading to some of the worst situations I've ever heard, like 41-year-old Eric Fleming, who on the set in 1966 of the TV series Off to See the Wizard, who was filming in a done-out canoe with his co-star as storm clouds were gathering in the sky. But if another heavy rainfall occurred, it may be a few days before they can shoot the scene and leave location. So they decided to resume filming, when the canoe started taking on water, and was then overturned. His co-star swam to the shore, but Eric was swept away by the current and drowned, and his body wasn't found till several days later. And what makes this whole situation even more painful is that his fiancée was actually on set and saw the whole thing happen. There are so many on-set deaths and tragedies that happen because of weak safety precautions, and I can't go into them all in this video as it would be hours long, but some of them include silent film star Martha Mansfield. When filming the movie The Warrens, the costume she was wearing caught fire, leading to fatal burns. However, her passing did lead to changes in the movie business, with more safety protocols being put in place. The Twilight Zone accident of 1982, where on the final day of shooting, actor Vic Morrow, 7-year-old Mackay, and 6-year-old Renee, who were killed when detonated explosives hit the tail rotor of the low-flying helicopter. 26-year-old Jon-Erik Hexum, who on the set of the show Cover Up, due to a delay in filming, became anxious and started fiddling with a prop gun full of blanks when he used it next to his head, causing the blast to result in his passing. 28-year-old Brandon Lee, when filming The Crow, was meant to be shot by blanks, when someone had mistakenly left a real bullet lodged in the barrel of the gun. On a side note, growing up watching WWE with my dad, and recently rewatching older matches, Owen Hart's passing was probably one of the most horrendous accidents ever. When during Raw is War, a pay-per-view event on May 24th, 1999, he was going to make an entrance from the arena's rafters, when his harness accidentally released, causing him to fall 78 feet into the ring.
Let everyone know that Owen Hart has died. Owen Hart has tragically died from that accident here tonight.
Now, as the audience didn't see anything due to the blackout in the ring, after Hart was removed from the ring, Vince McMahon decided to keep the event going, where the wrestlers would continue to wrestle even with Hart's blood still in the ring. Absolutely insane and demonic. That man is insane. For those who have any interest in the WWE, I definitely recommend you go to Netflix and watch the Vince McMahon documentary. Now, whilst you can say that safety regulations are a lot better on film sets and events, which is true, but it still doesn't stop the fact that these things are still happening. One of the most devastating ones as of recent is the 2021 fatal accident on the movie set Rust. Back in a rehearsal shootout scene in a church between Alec Baldwin's character and the icon, legend, demon hunter, superhero, Jensen Ackles' character. At that point in time, Jensen Ackles had done most of his coverage and waited outside of the church. Alec started doing a rehearsal where no guns should be used, and even if it would be full with blanks. However, the revolver went off, killing cinematographer Halyna Hutchins and wounding the director. Now, after watching so many of the interrogations, I think Jensen Ackles puts it really well. Why was there a live bullet on set? It doesn't make sense.
Not that I would ever think that a live round would be in a gun. on a set. There's just not a world in which a live round should ever be on a set, period. Which is why this is so crazy to me to comprehend how that's all I want to know. I could walk you through all the safety protocols, everything that I saw, everything that I went through. The only question I had, it's not like, oh, how did Dave miss this? Or how did Hannah not get, it's how did a live round end up on a set? Multiple rounds end up on a film set. It's just, there's not a world in which that should happen.
The armourer and Baldwin were both convicted of involuntary manslaughter, but 3 months later, prosecutors announced they were dismissing the charges against Baldwin, but the armourer Hannah is serving an 18-month prison sentence. Alec Baldwin remained on the project to finish the movie, but however, Jensen Ackles, despite finishing a majority of his filming, decided to step away from the project, and was recast by Josh Hopkins. There have been many instances on set resulting in nearly being fatal. Raw, 1981, actors nearly getting eaten by lions.
I got 56 stitches in the head and it took 6 guys 25 minutes to get the lion off of me. Runs in to break up the fight. And then a lion bites him through the hand. If you watch really closely, you can see he goes like this and shakes the blood off and shakes. And then he goes in and he breaks up the fight again.
The lion grabbed her hair with its teeth and wouldn't let go. Later, Griffith was clawed in the face, requiring over 100 stitches and reconstructive surgery. The film's cinematographer needed 200 stitches in his scalp. Hedren fractured her leg falling off an elephant.
Uma Thurman nearly getting in a car crash filming Kill Bill. Margaret Hamilton in the original Wizard of Oz suffered 2nd and 3rd degree burns thanks to a failed stunt on set. Dylan O'Brien falling off a moving vehicle, then run over by another car whilst shooting Maze Runner: The Death Cure. Safety on set should be the biggest priority, but too many times we hear stories of directors putting their actors through awful abusive situations because of budget cuts or for their own personal satisfaction. Often the excuse, it's for the art. Do it for the art, you know? But personally, I don't believe that people's lives have to be put in danger to have a good performance or to make good art. Take Shelley Duvall for instance, beautiful, talented actress who on the set of The Shining was subjected to psychological and emotional torture from director Stanley Kubrick.
I don't sympathize with Shelley.
You don't sympathize with Shelley.
Desperate. Oh, come on. What do you mean roll video? We're killing ourselves out here and you've got to be ready.
I am too. I'm standing
So we
right
play
by
mood
the
music?
door.
You've got to look desperate, Shelley. You're just wasting everybody's time now.
I can't even get this
hang it
door
against
open.
it.
On the record, I pulled all my hair. I pulled hunks of hair out on the windowsill.
Even co-star Jack Nicholson allegedly said, "I don't know how you do it. Kubrick was a completely different director when around Duvall." Unfortunately, Shelley is not the only one who is subjected to this type of abuse on set, but so many young actors, especially women, will put up with a lot of abuse in the workspace, being masked as doing it for the craft. Actress Tippi Hedren was sexually harassed and stalked by Alfred Hitchcock. 19-year-old Maria Schneider, who was set to film a rape scene, but director and co-star altered the scene in the morning, as director Bernardo wanted her reaction as a girl and not as an actress.
The sequence of the butter, an idea that I had with Marlon in the morning before shooting it. I've been in a way horrible to Maria because I didn't tell her what was going on. Because I wanted her reaction as a girl, not as an actress. I wanted her to react and she felt humiliated. And I think that she hated me and also Marlon because we didn't tell her.
Do you regret the fact that you have shot the scene like you did?
No. I feel guilty, but I do not regret. To make movies sometimes, to obtain something, I think that you have to be completely free. I didn't want Maria to act her humiliation, her rage. I wanted Maria to feel, not to act.
Marie went on to say how she felt a little raped after it was filmed. "I was so angry," she said. "I should have called my agent or had a lawyer come to set because you can't force someone to do something that isn't in the script. But at the time, I didn't know that. Malone said to me, 'Maria, don't worry, it's just a movie.' Assault of female actors in the workspace is a topic for another video. But these examples I have given have been directors using abuse to better a performance, which is kind of odd because you hire an actor to act. That is their job. At the end of the day, Hollywood has also had a huge problem with overworking actors of all ages, especially back when series had 22 episodes a season and budget cuts were made left, right and centre, leading many stars to be used to their limit. My personal friend, great actor and celebrity crush, Tom Welling, who on the set of the best show ever invented, Smallville, despite being the lead actor and on set for 12-hour days, continued to drive himself hours to work and back, resulting him in many occasions having to pull over. It wasn't until his co-star on the show, John Snyder, actually got the cast to write a letter in order for Tom to get a driver.
And it was all about you, working 12 hours a day. You drove for an hour to get there. You worked for 12 hours. You had to drive an hour home. And I said, Peter, this guy is going to wind up a fatality on the side of a road in Canada. It's unsafe for him to be doing this. Mm-hmm. He shows up to work, it's dark. He goes home, it's dark. Somebody is not caring for the health and well-being of your lead character.
You were very much responsible for even just getting them to have someone pick me up. You got the cast together to sign a waiver.
Gosh, yeah.
Like that, we were
driving all the way out to Alderbrough.
Yeah, I remember we did that. We wrote a letter. Remember, Schneider, you spearheaded the whole thing.
More so, Hollywood is known for overworking underage actors, Lindsay Lohan, Shirley Temple. I do believe it is more strict today, but I think overworking actors of any age still definitely does happen, especially with long productions and actors being on set for many years, and in some cases claiming they have been changed for the better. Recently there has been a lot of discussion over weight loss in Hollywood, with some celebrities looking as though they have lost a huge amount of weight. Actors' bodies are sometimes used more as a prop or as an item that they can mould to the character, meaning some go through very intense diets and workouts, some, those who specifically go method, go to some wild extremes to achieve these goals. Christian Bale, the Machinist, Joaquin Phoenix, the Joker, even Chris Hemsworth, who lost 33 pounds in 4 weeks during filming of Heart of the Sea. I felt like I was in a constant state of hunger, Hemsworth confessed. Sometimes even landing themselves in hospital due to these dieting plans, like Ashton Kutcher, who was playing Steve Jobs, known for his fruitarian diet, and as preparation for the biopic, Ashton Kutcher decided to take on that diet, landing him in severe pain in hospital as his pancreas levels were completely out of whack.
I ended up in the hospital like 2 days before we started shooting the movie.
However, being severely malnourished and still trying to do a good job can have terrible effects on the actors. Adam Driver and Andrew Garfield, on the set of Silence, were asked to lose weight. Driver said he and Garfield continued to lose weight as the film progressed. He asked us to lose a lot of weight. I didn't know how much that was going to be. You're so hungry and so tired at some points that there's nothing you can do. You're not adding anything on top of what you're doing. You only have enough energy to convey what you're doing. So it's great. However, there are other times when a scene's not working and you don't have the energy to figure out why it's not working. But putting your body through so much stress, and in some cases leaving you with actual eating disorders due to the experiences you had from these diets, some cases do get pushback from the actors. Jennifer Lawrence as Katniss Everdeen, Margot Robbie as Jane Potter in Tarzan, actresses who are told to lose weight, but argued the point that they didn't need to for the role, wanting their characters to be an example to young audiences of a woman's body.
I mean, do you worry about being put under pressure to lose weight for a role? I mean, would you say no to a director if they told you to lose a few pounds?
Yeah, and I have. I think, when we were doing the first Hunger Games, it was a big discussion about, because it's called The Hunger Games. She's from District 12. She's obviously underfed, so she would be incredibly thin. But we have the ability to control this image that young girls are going to be seeing. Girls see enough of this body that we will never be able to obtain, these unrealistic expectations. And this is going to be their hero. And we have control over that, to look strong and healthy.
Even though there have been so many videos highlighting the Wicked cast and worries around their bodies, even though I completely understand these concerns, but out of respect of the cast, I won't be commenting on their bodies or diagnosing anyone in specific, but ultimately I wanted to bring it up because the fact that the film never required any of the actors to go through any physical transformation, unlike previous examples where actors did it because the role somewhat required them to look a certain way, as it was part of the story or character. In Wicked, whilst there's a lot of rehearsals, dancing, and a lot of physicality, there's nothing that would hint at a dramatic weight loss. But with that said, it is also very, very common for actors to feel like they should lose weight or be a certain way to fit into Hollywood standards and even get roles. Amanda Seyfried once said, "I have to stay in shape because I'm an actress. It's fucked up and twisted, but I wouldn't get the roles otherwise. If I had been bigger, I don't think they would have cast me for Mamma Mia." Sometimes even getting harassed and told that they are too big for roles. Jake Johnson had to lose weight before getting New Girl. ABC told Margaret Cho that she was too overweight, where she ended up hospitalized with kidney failure from not eating. Chris Pratt Samantha Morton had a terrible experience when she was asked to lose weight for a part. Lost the weight when the director asked her to go to his trailer before filming and said, "You fat fuck, get off my fucking movie," and fired her. Charisma Carpenter, who didn't get told that she was too big for a part, but instead experienced abuse of power from director Joss Whedon while working with her on hit shows Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Angel. Body shaming her while she was pregnant, asking her if she was planning on keeping the baby. She said he called her fat to colleagues when she was 4 months pregnant, and then he fired her after giving birth. But all of this is no comparison to the abuse and harassment that Judy Garland went through. According to biographers, when Garland was just 10 years of age, her stage mother would cruelly drug her with stimulants, so she would stay awake for 72-hour shoots, only to then force-feed her sleeping pills to knock her out when she wasn't required on set. Her first starring role in Pigskin Parade, the constant application of prosthetics, a corset, and a diet that professionals would deem deadly by current medical practice that were enforced upon her. But things got even worse for Judy on the set of The Wizard of Oz at 16 years old. Studio executives had molested her, she was allegedly sexually assaulted by the Munchkins, who were grown-ass men. Spies were sent to her home to ensure that she was sticking to a regimented diet of coffee, cigarettes, and chicken soup to lose weight, rolled around in snow made of asbestos, routinely had her bust bandages down painfully to make her look more flat-chested, and contact with anyone her own age was limited. But not just Judy had a dangerous and damaging time on set. Margaret Hamilton, who played the Wicked Witch, suffered 2nd and 3rd degree burns thanks to a failed stunt on set. The Tin Man suffered a near-fatal reaction to his makeup. Research also throughout the years has found a stigma surrounding saying no to potentially dangerous situations on set. With stunts often rushed because of time and money, those working on productions feel pressured to be compliant even when they may be putting their own lives and lives of others at risk. Doing your own stunts is praised so much in the industry, with often being overlooked how dangerous this truly is. Under a Freedom of Information request, the Health and Safety Executive revealed around 160 non-fatal injuries on set, including falls from a height, in the 5 years until February 2022. Even though there are a lot more safety precautions in place nowadays, whether that being having proper dietitians, trainers, or having specialists on set to deal with certain events, it still isn't enough. A law firm specializing in serious injury claims said the pressure to make film stunts bigger and better and more dangerous is leading to more accidents. More often than not, these on-set accidents are entirely avoidable and are as a result of production's failure to take responsible steps to prevent or minimize the risks. These accidents happen despite our very strict health and safety laws. Better education on sets and stronger enforcement of these regulations is blatantly needed. So there you have it. You can definitely tell as films try and outdo each other, there's going to be bigger and bigger sets, bigger and bigger stunts that definitely need a lot of health and safety precautions put in place in order for people to not get injured. So at the end of the day, Hollywood is just a machine that cares mainly about money, and it will choose money over a person's health any day. With so much blood already on Hollywood's hands, awareness of health and safety for people in the entertainment industry just needs to be better, and to be able to shed more light onto these scenarios that I think get overlooked so much. These people are there to work, and often with it being something that they just love doing, and shouldn't have to put their lives at risk because of it. Question in the comments today is what sort of things need to be put in place towards better treatment of people in the industry? This topic was definitely interesting to go into, especially after seeing a lot of people's concerns over actors' bodies and, their mental well-being. It is a conversation that I think needs to be had more so in the industry. I don't think people talk about the actual mental impact that a lot of these roles have on the actors. Having to put yourself in a situation that you don't want to be in because it's required for the art. Thank you again to FlexiSpot for sponsoring this video. Remember to click my link in the description and use code YTE730 for $30 off. Click the like, subscribe, and comment videos that you want to see. I'm very excited for the next year, and I hope you have a great week. Bye!